Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Mem Wazan and all. Renewable thermal energy, geothermal. Today's topic will be presented by Salmiah Binti Amanah 2180628 and my partner Nurul Syufizha Binti Supandi 2180630. Geothermal energy is the heat energy extracted from the inside the earth in the form of water and steam. There are three basic types of geothermal: dry steam plant, flash steam plant, binary steam plant. The advantage of geothermal energy is it does not need fuel for production of electricity. It saves expenses for fuel and it does not pollute the environment. However, the disadvantage of thermal energy is it is not available universally, high infrastructure and drilling costs. The problem statements from this case study is increase in energy demand in Malaysia up to 7% per year and 40% of energy is supplied from conventional fossil fuel.
Objective for this project is to design 1 megawatt or more power plant using renewable energy, to investigate the current technologies of renewable thermal energy that are available in the market over the world, and to study the potential of renewable energy in Malaysia. Project scope for this renewable energy for geothermal is using Brayton cycle and Rankine cycle, using water, air or refrigeration as the working fluid, and the power generation can be produced using several renewable energy as a source of the heat, and this project will be focused on geothermal energy.
The theories and working concepts of geothermal energy can be divided into three groups: flash cycle, binary cycle, and dry steam. Flash cycle can be divided into two: single flash and double flash. In a single flash steam power plant, the geothermal fluid is in liquid state, which is expanded through the expansion valve, resulting in two-phase flow. Single flash power plants are classified according to their steam turbine, such as turbine exit condition. There are two basic types of single flash, with condensation system and single flash back pressure system. For double flash steam power plant has the same working principle as the single flash power plant, except it produces more steam due to the use of two separators. Double flash geothermal power plants produce a higher power output than single flash geothermal power plant, but at a higher cost. Next, binary cycle steam. Binary cycle steam, also known as organic Rankine cycle (ORC). It uses a secondary loop and secondary fluid such as hydrocarbon and fluorocarbon. Hydrocarbon and fluorocarbon is used instead of water to run the ORC turbine. The last one is dry steam. This plant uses dry steam that is naturally produced in the ground. These types are the oldest type of geothermal power plant. The first one was built back in 1904 in Italy. Because this type of power plant requires the highest temperature, they can only be used where the temperature underground is quite high, but this type requires the least fluid flow. Next is the application system installed around the world. Firstly, the Graces Geothermal Complex in California, US. It has 1.2 gigawatt installed capacity. The second one is Larderello Geothermal Complex in Italy. It has 769 megawatt installed capacity. Next, Cerro Prieto Geothermal Power Station in Mexico. It has 720 megawatt. It followed by Macban Geothermal Complex, Philippines. It has 458 megawatt installed capacity. Next, Salak Geothermal Plant in Indonesia. It has 377 megawatt.
The next application is Enegy Generation Salmiah Geothermal Plants US. The Salmiah geothermal plants of Enegy Generation include a cluster of 10 geothermal generating plants in Calipatria near the Salmiah in the Imperial Valley of Southern California, which have a combined generating capacity of 340 megawatt. Another application is Serolna Geothermal Power Plant, Indonesia. The power plant is owned by a consortium of Medco Energy International Tbk, Inpex Company, Itochu Corporation, Kyushu Electric Power, and Ormat Technologies called Salura Operations Limited (SOL). This is the world's 8th largest geothermal power plant, which is Hellisheidi Geothermal Power Plant in Iceland. The Hellisheidi Geothermal Power Plant is a combined heat and power (CHP) flash steam power located at a mountain hanging approximately 20 km east of Reykjavik, the capital city. The generating capacity of the plant is 303 megawatt of electric power and 400 megawatt of thermal energy. Another application is Tiwi Geothermal Complex at the Philippines. The Tiwi Geothermal Complex is located in Tiwi, in the province of Albay, in the Philippines, about 300 km southeast of Manila. The 289 megawatt net complex is owned by AP Renewables, a subsidiary of Aboitiz Electricity. The last application is the Rajat Power Station in Indonesia. This power station is located in Garut in West Java's Pasiwangi district. The 271 megawatt geothermal power station was originally built by a group of companies, including Chevron Global Energy and Union Oil. So this is the design for renewable energy in geothermal. Firstly is flash cycle steams in single flash geothermal. So this is the diagram for the cycle in single flash geothermal, and this is the TS diagram for this cycle. From this cycle of single flash geothermal, we can make an assumption to calculate the work of the turbine, the energy input, and the efficiency of this cycle. So from this, we can make an assumption, which is the steady state operating condition exists, kinetic and potential energy change negligible, and the geothermal resources exist at a saturated liquid at 235 degrees Celsius. Geothermal liquid is withdrawn from a production well at a rate of 230 kg per second and is flashed to a pressure of 500 kPa by an essentially asymptotic of the turbine. The steam is left at the turbine at 10 kPa with a moisture content of 5% and enter the condenser. So from here we can calculate about the work of the turbine and then the energy input. Same goes to this double flash geothermal. This is the cycle of the double flash geothermal and then the TS diagram. So from here we can make an assumption, which is the steady operating condition exists, kinetic and potential energy change negligible, geothermal resources exist at a saturated liquid at 235 degrees Celsius. The geothermal liquid is withdrawn from the production well at the rate of 230 kg per second and is flashed to a pressure of 500 kPa by an essentially asymptotic turbine. The steam leaves at the turbine at 10 kPa with the moisture content of 5% and enter the condenser. So from here, from the assumption, we can get the work of the turbine, the energy input, and then the thermal efficiency for this plant. Lastly is the design for binary cycle, organic Rankine cycle. So here is the cycle of this ORC and then the TS diagram. So from here we can make an assumption, which is this plant is steady operating condition exists, kinetic and potential energy changes are negligible, maximum pressure at 1.2 megapascal, and the heating of the fluid up to 120 degrees Celsius, and the minimum pressure at 101 kilopascal and temperature 28 degrees Celsius normal boiling, and the mass flow rate is at 100 kilogram per second. So from here, same as before, we can get the work of the turbine, the energy input, and then the thermal efficiency of the plant.
Last but not least is the conclusion. As the conclusion, geothermal energy is one of the most beneficial energy sources. It is not only a renewable form of energy, but it also present in most regions in many ways, outperforming even some traditional sources. Without burning fossil fuel, geothermal energy is extracted from the earth, and geothermal field contain virtually no emission. An incredibly constant source of energy, which means that it does not rely on wind and sun. It is available throughout the year. It is independent in terms of unstable external conditions when supplying energy. Geothermal heat pump system uses 25% to 50% less energy than traditional heating or cooling system. It requires less space for hardware compared to conventional systems. There are two potential geothermal energy in Malaysia, which is based on survey at Ulu Slim Perak conducted from January 2014 to April 2016. It is estimated resource potential is 148 megawatt. In Apas Kiri Tawau Sabah was 67 megawatt but recalculated by Tawau Green Energy Sdn Berhad to be 85 megawatt. This statement based on Barnett 2010. It is need to be further explored in Lojing Kelantan, Ulu Langat and Batang Kali in Selangor, and Sungai Denah in Perak. The targeted geothermal power generation in Malaysia is in Apas Kiri Tawau, 37 megawatt, increasing 30 megawatt every 4 years. And it is scheduled operated in 2019. With that,